Hi everyone, I'm Tom, and in today's video I'm gonna show you how you can go from piano chords to a full trailer string arrangement in 4 easy steps. This is based on the track I wrote for the release trailer of Deliver Us Mars. So let me first go over the chords. So the chords that I'm using here are B flat major 7th, going to C major, D minor, A minor with an E in the bass, back to B flat major 7th, A minor / C, to G major. Now the first step is to start off with the bass, and it is a big trailer string arrangement, so bass is very important. And here it's in the end not only the strings that are playing this bass line, but also brass and sound design and whatever. But for the strings I chose to have it in big, bold, marcato, double basses and cello, playing this ascending bass line that this is in the end. Not very interesting, just very big, very loud, aggressive, accented notes, but it's the foundation that we can build on. The next step is adding the melody. I didn't want the strings to just play the chords. I wanted to have some more emotion in there, so there's a melody in there. And this melody starts with a contrary motion between the bass and the violins. So how does that work? The bass has an ascending line. So how does that work? The bass has an ascending line going from B flat to C to D, while the melody goes in the other direction, from A to G to F. And then even the last step, they land on E together. And from this part, this is the first half of the melody, very simple. And in the second half, I want to build towards the climax. So I want the melody to be a bit more dramatic and that it's also building. So from this point where we just were, the melody starts moving a bit quicker, landing on the same place where we started before. But now I make a very dramatic jump to F. And this is also something that really helps when you have a melody. It's not just have the melody play the chord tones on the important parts of the bar, because here we have this suspension going on. This F is not in the A minor / C chord, but it's a suspension going from F to E, adding even more of this emotion and drama to the music before we land on D with the G in the bass. And these quarter notes anticipate this jump up by already moving up the register, and this jump then moves it to a very high register, which is even more dramatic than where we were at before. The second step is adding the melody. I don't want the strings to just play the chord tones, that would be boring. I want to have some more drama and some more emotion in there. So I have a melody that I put in the first. If we look at the melody with the strings and the basses together, we see that it starts with a contrary motion, which means that the basses are going in an ascending line, while the melody is going in a descending line, ending on this E together. And now here in the second half, to make this even more dramatic, I want to make a jump in the register, to make this really high jump to a very dramatic high register. And I already anticipate this by having these quarter notes here already moving up, while we go back to the same notes that we started the melody on. And here comes the real drama, this very high jump. Now at this point, this F that is being held in the violins is not a part of the chord that's being played there. This is a way to add even more drama to your music. When you hit a strong part of the bar, so the first beat in this example, not have your melody play the chord tones, but have a suspension in there. So here this suspension is going from F to E before we land together on the final chord. Now the third step is to add some inner voices to this. A good way to make your arrangement fill out even more and make it sound even bigger is not just have the bass line and the melody, but add some second voices to that as well. So here I chose to have those in the second violins and the violas. So here I chose to fill out the chord a bit more with some additional voices. So we start with and this just fills out this middle register in between the basses and the violins. It always helps to make a big sound to fill out the entire frequency spectrum. And this is not only a sound design thing, this is also an orchestration thing. It will sound bigger when you have filled up this space between bass and melody more. Now this is already a good start, but when I sent in my first version, this is also where I had left things. I just melody, inner voices, bass line. However, I'll play this for you. You can hear it is not very powerful and it is a little bit lacking. The bass is very powerful in itself, they're accented, the melody is very dramatic and the inner voices are working, but we still notice there's quite a big gap between this melody, which is very high, and these bass notes, which are very low. So I needed a little bit more to fill out this middle register. And a great way to do this and also add more power to your melody is by doubling it in octaves. So if we go back to the version that in the end got placed in the trailer, you can see that here I have this melody, but now I doubled it 2 octaves below. And this does 2 things. It adds way more power to this melody because of the doubling in different octaves. And secondly, it fills out the gap between the high violins and counter melody together with the basses in the end. So I just added another violin track because it's trailer music and I'm producing it at home and I can do whatever I want. So I added an extra violin track and I added some celli, which are playing this lower register. And the celli are there playing in sort of a mid-high register, which is very expressive, very emotional, and perfect for this type of music. So in the end, if we put everything together, it sounds like this. So if we compare that to that previous version, the first version I sent in, this is way more powerful, and it's just by adding 2 lower octaves to the same melody. And now to bring everything together within the full arrangement, what you end up with is this. And there you have it. That's how you go from piano chords to full string arrangement for a trailer track. Don't forget to watch the full breakdown of this track that will show up on your screen in a minute. Thank you for watching this one, and we'll see you in the next one.
Hey there, I appreciate you watching the video. If you like this one, check out this video or that video. And if you want to support the channel, make sure to click on top of my head on the logo and subscribe to the channel.